Our Tuesday guest this week is an award-winning Norfolk singer-songwriter. Her work has been recognised by the influential music presenter Bob Harris, Whispering Bob, who had her record a session for his BBC programme. She writes and performs folk and country songs in a genre described as Americana. She spent a lot of time in New York, but also loves living in Norfolk, writing music columns for local publications. She was born here and went to school in Norwich. Her latest record is an EP called Another Place and Time. Our Tuesday guest this week is Lisa Redford. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Matthew.
It's good to have you along, and you've picked half a dozen records, but none of your own.
I know. I sort of missed an opportunity there. Some of my friends were saying, hang on, where's New York Song? Where's Call Me? But, I actually love talking about other people's music.
Would it be fair to say that the list today, that you've picked the half dozen, they were all influences on you?
Certainly, yes. Either my songwriting or just something in the lyrics or something that they've played a part in the soundtrack to my life, really, and things like that.
And we played a track of your EP, Another Place and Time, Remember Me. That was absolutely terrific.
Oh, thanks ever so much for playing that. I really appreciate that.
What about the record? I mean, an EP, it's rather an old-fashioned format, isn't it? But
it's actually sort of come back, really, I suppose, with the sort of age of, Spotify and Deezer and everything. People sort of preferring to download singles, or just, I don't know, maybe they just want a sort of, less tracks to listen to. I still love the album there as well. I've done 3 albums, and one of them was very much like a journey, sort of, like a bit of a story from beginning to end. And with the EP, I mean, that was just, again, sort of some songs that were part of my life at that moment. And I just recorded them locally with Jose of the Vagaband, excellent local band.
And what about this genre, Americana? I mean, it's not one that I'd heard before, but actually it sums up that style. You're not quite out-and-out country. It's more folky.
Sure.
And,
I think of people like Emmylou Harris, Ryan Adams, who is one of my favourites. They kind of blend a lot of the genre, really, like folk, blues, country, American influences, basically. And it wasn't that I always that I started with that music. It was just that sort of my voice and style of songs that I was doing at that time really lent itself. And the instrumentation that I had on a couple of releases as well that really sort of, went well with that style.
And you have lived in the States, I know. So we'll talk about that period of your life and about how you got into music in a little while. But I think we ought to start with the first record on your half dozen here. What are we going to hear first?
It's so difficult sort of choosing. But I had to choose something from the Smiths as I sort of... when I first heard them, I'd never heard anything like it really before. I'd listened to, obviously a lot of pop and chart music sort of growing up. And then I was sort of bored with a lot of the stuff that I was listening to. So I sort of grabbed one of my dad's records. So he's got a very sort of influential on me and very eclectic taste. And I thought... songs like Reel Around the Fountain, What Difference Does It Make? And things like that, very direct and very heartfelt. And when you're sort of, growing up, feeling insecure, lonely at times, the sort of music really resonated with me and the lyrics.
Take me out tonight, where there's music and there's people and the young and the light. Driving in your car, I never want to go home, because I haven't got one anymore. Take me out tonight, because I want to see people and I want to see light. Driving in your car, oh please don't drop me home, because it's not my home, it's their home, and I'm welcome no more. And if a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us, me anywhere, don't care, don't care, don't care. And in the darkened underpass I thought, oh God, my chance has come at last. But then a strange fear gripped me and I just couldn't ask. Take me out tonight. Oh, take me anywhere, don't care, don't care, don't care. Driving in your car, I never, never want to go home, because I haven't got one all along. Oh, I haven't got one.
The Smiths, There is a Light That Never Goes Out. It's the first choice of our guest this week, Lisa Redford, the Norfolk-based singer-songwriter who's won awards for her work in recent times, and she does gigs around the county and has lived in America and recorded an album there as well. So much to talk about, Lisa, but should we go right back? Because you're a Norwich girl, aren't you?
That's right, yes.
Where did music first come into your life?
Well, like I was sort of saying, I guess my parents really had so much eclectic music around. So as well as the Smiths and sort of like that indie, you know, the early indie stuff and sort of new wave and punk. They had a lot of singer-songwriters from like the 70s, 60s around. So
that's more your sort of stuff, though,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So it's probably sort of, you know, filtered more to that sort of style. And I mean, they're still huge, you know, music fans. And I guess you know, it was also the way that songs were put together as well. I love sort of, you know, the craft of songwriting, you know, sort of doing a verse and then, ooh, here's a middle eight. Just the way that the songs are put together, and obviously lyrics. You know, I've studied English literature and I love novels, poetry, and just music. I've just been obsessed with it, basically.
Ever since quite a young age?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, probably, I don't know, early teens, I suppose, like your formative years when you're looking for sort of inspiration, something to sort of resonate with you.
It's a bit of a leap, though. I mean, listening to your parents' record collection,
Yeah.
a lot of us do that, but then to have the confidence to say, well, actually, I think I could do that, and to then go ahead and do it.
That's right. Well, I started doing a lot of things at sort of school, but not too much really, as I was sort of quite shy at times. So it was more just after university, really, when I sort of had a collection of songs, started songwriting, and just put together my own album just on my own back, really, self-released. Organising friends, musicians, and you know, these days just being able to independently release something is really freeing, really, and just didn't know what was going to happen at all with it. Just released it, as I say, self-released, no label or anything like that behind it, and I was very lucky that Bob Harris sort of played one of the songs from my first album, and he's supported every one of my releases ever since. That was fantastic to have somebody like his support.
Well, Whispering Bob, I mean, he's one of the governors of the business, he is, isn't he? And
That's
so if he
right.
likes what you're doing, and you've recorded sessions for him on his programme,
That's
haven't you?
right. Yes, we've shared a bottle of wine at his studio, his house, and then I recently actually interviewed him as well for. I also write, as I say, the music column. So I went to a BBC Introducing event recently and interviewed him for Songwriting magazine. So he's been wonderfully supportive. You know, he's a lovely, lovely person.
You went to CNS school in Norwich.
That's right.
And so you're saying, really, that the music lessons were a little bit, you know, tangential in your music path?
Yes, to be honest, I didn't really do too much music at school, really. It was more like the English literature side, really, that I sort of more flourished, you know. And that's
The words and how they fit together.
Yes, and writing and things like that. But music was more sort of a sort of out of school thing, really. And I guess it was going to university, you know, you sort of tend to grow a bit more in confidence, meet lots of different people. And after that, then learning the guitar. So obviously then you've got something to sort of be your accompaniment, because I was always singing, but something to sort of then write with, basically, I suppose.
You write the melodies and the words, though,
Yes,
don't
that's right. Yes. Written quite a bit, really. I'd love to do a bit more, actually, thinking in the future, something like more collaborative stuff, for when you're feeling a little bit stuck. But yes, as I say, I love the process of sort of coming up with things. I tend to come up maybe with melodies first, I would say. But going back, I mean, as we were saying about when we were talking about the Smiths off air, I mean, things like that, listening to Morrissey's lyrics, it led me to discovering more literature and films, because he took a lot of inspiration from films. And
he's a bit gloomy, though, isn't he? Kitchen sink dramas.
Yes,
isn't it?
but I sort of got into all that sort of stuff, and a lot of quintessentially English, I suppose, plays and films, and people like Terence Stamp and then Alan Bates and the Saturday Night Sunday Morning Taste of Honey. So then, even though my stuff is quite different, I do take sometimes inspiration from books and things like that. You just observe all that's around you, really.
Well, let's hear your second record choice now.
Yes.
What's it going to be?
Well, this is probably my favourite songwriter at the moment. Well, I've loved his music for a few years, really. Actually, me and Bob Harris share this as one of our favourite all-time songs. It's called Lassie Enger Just Smiled, by Ryan Adams.
Oh, the night here comes again. It's on with the jeans, the jacket, and the shirt. Out under, feeling so bad. Such a little girl. And I hold you close in the back of my mind. Feels so good, but damn, it makes me hurt. I'm too scared to know how I feel about you now. Lost the energy of your smile, see you around. I'll hold you close in the back of my mind. Raise my glass, 'cause either way I'm dead. Neither of you really help me to sleep anymore. One breaks my body and the other breaks my soul. Lost the energy, just smiled, waves goodbye. It's off with the jeans, the jacket, and the shirt. Out under, feeling so bad. Such a little girl. And I'll hold you close in the back of my mind. Feels so good, damn, it makes me